Here we go, everybody. Let's see. We got a good crowd forming here. We're going to give everybody just a moment to load in because load times can vary depending on internet speed, how busy all space is, the alignment of the stars and the planets. But listen, while we wait, if you haven't already met Raven Eye in the corner here, this is our YouTube camera. So if we get any usable content here today, this will go out on our YouTube channel in a few weeks, depending on how behind we are. And if you want to feel VR famous, you can wave on out and be like, "Hey, YouTube, how's it going?" We got a lot of people in here. We've got Timmy. We've got Kenny. We've got the Glass Menagerie. We've got Hummingbird. We've got Viking 1987. We've got Purple Lady Slippers, who goes with the woohoo. That's pretty cool. And we also got the Jermaine 46. How's it going, everybody? All right. How many of you have never flown in AltspaceVR before? If you've never flown, put your hands up like this. Anybody in new flyers? All right, cool. How many of you are new to AltspaceVR or new to VR? Some idea. Any new to VR? All right, cool. Good to know. All right. So let's get you avatars in the air. What you listen up. What you want to do is you want to press that blue and white triangle button on your lower left. Now, when you press on this, your main menu is going to open up before you, and you're going to see all these tabs on the very bottom. And one of those tabs, it's going to say Settings. It has a cogwheel icon right over it in the lower right. Can't miss it. When you press on that, you're going to see all these categories on the left-hand side. And that third category down is going to say Input. Now, when you press on Input, the top center panel is going to have the word Fly. And next to that will be a white circle that'll change your life forever. For when you press it, it will turn blue, and your flight will be enabled, and you'll be ready to go. So all you have to do is just press that Close tab in the lower right. That's the X with the circle around it, and you'll be able to see again. So, hey, everybody, let me see your head. See you say hey. Everybody, you should have your microphones open here. Hey, there you go. Cool. Hey, 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 hey. Okay. All right. Well, we really lost on the hey thing. All right. Now to fly, all you have to do is just move forward and look up, and you're going to go right up into the air just like that. Whoa. Now you steer at your head, which can feel kind of weird, right? So to get used to it, what you have to do is go out through this doorway here, and you're going to see these rings outside. Now, if you fly through these red rings, you're going to reach the tower where you're going to discover a type of teleportation that feels like fast flight. But listen, guys, wait up. If you want to get there in style, you're going to see at the end of the runway is a gray wall. Next to that gray wall is an aircraft with an open door. If you go into that aircraft and you point that pointer coming out of your right hand, if you ever wondered what that's for, well, that's what that's for. You aim it at the launch button, and your target will start to spin. And if you squeeze and release your trigger one time on that spinning target on that launch button, one of the ships will attach to you. It has spinning turbines and engine noise. They're a lot of fun to fly around in. So go ahead and give that a try. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be here for the duration of the event, which is about another 20 minutes. So, come and see me if you have any questions. Or you want to use the flight tool. William JR2012, you have a question? Or did you miss those instructions? No.
Just came in.
Going like this again. You're not related to
I think I'm going through the ring.
Oops, are you? No, you don't know? I think you are. You look just like him. Okay, like you're acting just like him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ops.
Really?
With the hands on the face on the stage.
Unmistakable.
William JR 2012. Do you have any questions? Did you learn how to fly? No, you didn't. Okay, but you're not using your voice. All right, that's cool. Well, that's highly suspicious, YouTube, because we had a guy on the way here who behaved just like that. Really, just like that. Super creepy. But not everybody talks in AltspaceVR. So listen, do you want to learn how to fly? Because if you do, I'll show you. You know how to grab a mug, though, so you're pretty much there. You look comfortable. You know how to fly? You're just messing with me?
You look pretty comfy.
Okay, yeah, I think he knows. All right, cool. You don't know? All right, well, I'll go through it just for you. It'll make you feel good. No? Okay, I don't know what you want here. Would you like to learn how to fly? Not if you want to learn how to fly.
He would like to learn
how did
how
you
to
say
fly,
do that again?
but he was trying to do it with coffee.
Which thing? Which part?
The when you're in the plane, so I have to press what to have it.
All right, so you look above the launch button, and if you see the sign above it says available, because there's a limit of free in the air right now due to performance, but it says the word available, right?
Okay.
What you'll see is on the launch button, that pointer that's coming out of your right hand, just aim it at the launch button, you're going to see your target start to spin around. And when it does, just squeeze your trigger one time, and one of these ships will attach to you, and then you'll be good to go from there. Just make sure you're in flight mode, because if you're not, you're going to go right off the platform there, and the next thing you know, you'll just be mowing the grass, and that's how we keep the grass so nice and trim here.
So you said when you go in there, so above if it's available, just hit the launch pad with this.
But it's got to be the one at the end of the runway with the open door. So right by that gray wall, open door. Look for the word available. Aim at the launch button. Point at it. Squeeze, and you should be fine.
Gotcha.
If you have any problems, just come and see me. All right, back to you, William JR 2012 or 2012. What we're going to ask you to do is press that blue and white triangle button in your lower left. Can you do that for me? Let's see. In your lower left, that blue and white triangle. Give that a press right there. Okay, that's different. Okay. Yes, Morgan, please.
Hey, how you
Okay,
doing?
that's enough of that. Hey, what's up, Tyler? How's it going?
Nothing much. How about yourself?
Pretty good yourself. What's going on? How you been? What's going
Nothing
on?
much. I was just thinking, like, it's interesting how this works, especially if normally what I'd play is instead of doing something like this, I'd go play Elite Dangerous, and I'd have like the Ahota's Flight Master on there.
Okay, I don't follow what you mean. You do this in AltSpace?
No, I'm saying like this is not normally something I do in AltSpace. Basically, I'd slap on my VR headset. I'd go play a game
Yeah.
called Elite Dangerous. It's a spaceship game, and you can
Okay.
and I have an external thing with external controller with a thruster.
Well, a way to get around AltSpace is by
Ooh,
flying,
that's
and we just
fun.
like to make it a little more interesting with the vehicles. We think it's fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you like it, Tyler. That's good news.
You can get a
Yeah.
little bit of turbulence if you
Yeah, if you go
uh,
fast.
teleport
Yeah.
or if you move with two flight pens, but no more.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how to
It'll-
fly, which is something that I do need to learn.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I thought I showed you before. I'm sorry. I thought you had somebody
No,
here by
you're
that
good.
name. All right. So what you do is press that blue and white triangle button.
Yep.
And you're going to see on your lower left there, you're going to there on the lower left, yeah, blue
Yep.
and white triangle button. Now on the lower right, you're going to see a settings button that says, there's a cog
Mhm.
wheel on it. You press that, and you see all on the left side. You've got the third one down that says input. Press
Mhm.
on that, and now you'll see the word fly at the top center panel, and
Mhm.
then you're good to go. So just press close, and now all you need to do is just move forward and look up. There you go.
Oh, that's
All right.
interesting.
Now there's another way to fly, and that's to use the flight tool. That's a lot quicker. And if you'd like to learn that, I can show you. Dylan, you have a question? What's going on, Dylan?
Yeah,
What's
I
up?
want to fly one of those spaceships.
You want to fly one of those spaceships? All right, cool. We call it a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft. It's not. We haven't tested it in space thoroughly. In the upper atmosphere, it works totally good. Works good underwater, but we haven't tested it in deep space. So be careful.
That's
We
true.
don't have the resources to send a search party. If you'll find at the end of the runway, there's a gray wall, and next to that gray wall is an open door. That aircraft with the open door. If you go in there, you're going to look at the sign above the launch button to see if it says the word available, because there's a limit of 3 out at a time for performance. There we go. Now, if you aim the pointer that's coming out of your right hand, if you ever wondered what that's for, that's what that's for. You aim that pointer at the launch button, and your target will start to spin. Now, all you have to do is squeeze and release the trigger button one time, and one of these ships will attach to you. And it's spinning turbines and engine noise. A lot of fun to fly around it. They're not as much fun as Elite Dangerous, apparently. But we
No,
try.
it's
Okay.
Thank
interesting
you.
because there's an entire community in Elite Dangerous where you trade ships, currency in game, all that jazz.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
that's kinda neat.
it's an interesting game. You should
Oh, it sounds
maybe
like
look
fun.
up a YouTube video
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna check
something.
it out. That sounds like a
So
good
what's
time.
the
Yeah.
yeah, what's the flight like looking like? What's you said there's a flight stick type thing?
Yes,
Like
there's a
a
flight
flight
tool,
control?
actually. This is a different form of flying where you're going to fly with your hand instead of your head. Now, in the flight mode that you're in now, it goes a little bit slower. If you hold down your left trigger, it'll make you go faster, but it's governed by where you put your head. So if you look at me, right, if I tilt my
Mhm.
head to the side and I move to the right, you'll see that I go down, right? And if I tilt my head to the side and if I tilt my head to the same side and move to the left, I'm going to go up. Right.
Oh,
Likewise, if I
interesting.
look up and move backwards, I'm going to go down. So this is all linked to your head. This other flight I'm going to show you, right, it's not for everybody. That's why we teach the slower one first, because, if you're prone to dizziness in VR, this isn't the best idea. It takes a while to get used to it, and it's much faster. It's capable of much higher speeds. So what you can do, and anyone else that wants to follow along, please feel free. If you press on that blue and white triangle button in the lower left, you're going to see your main menu open up in front of you. And down on the bottom right, you're going to see that settings tab with the cogwheel. Now, all the categories on the left-hand side, if you'll see halfway down there, it says items. Now, if you press on items, you're going to see the word flight tool and the word spawn next to it. If you press spawn, your menu will disappear, and this flight tool will appear in the air in front of you. Look, you got a handle on it already. Wait, be careful. Be careful, man. Wait, sign the waiver first, man.
interesting.
Sign the waiver first. Legally binding, totally important.
I know how to do
Where's
this,
the
bro.
other pens here? All right, wait.
Oh,
Everybody sign the
wow.
waiver. Listen, you all signed the waiver when you came in here. Now,
Dude,
what
I'm
you want to
chilling.
do
Look,
is
I already
if you
figured it
squeeze
out.
the trigger button. Oh, I'm glad. You're very, you're very quick there, Tyler. It must be all that Elite Dangerous. That's good. But not everyone
It's
picks
not
it
even
up
that.
quickly.
It's
So
just
if you're
having
wondering what's going on with it, what you do is you draw
Yeah, my
small
flight
lines,
tool was
short
not
lines, and you'll go
working.
very. Okay. What does it say?
It says spawn, right?
Yeah. So when you press spawn, what happens?
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Well, sometimes that can happen, and what you need to do is re-enter the space. So go up to where it says general, and then you'll see a re-enter space button. Come back in, and we'll try it again. All right. Those of you that got it and are wondering what's this pen in my hand, if you draw small lines with it, it'll move you slowly in that direction. If you draw long lines, the faster you will go. So the longer the line, the faster you'll go. And you'll have to think of that pink dot as you. You just move the pen where you want to go, and you'll go in that direction. Takes a little bit of time to get used to it. So if you want to get used to it, go up through those red rings
Okay.
again, this time at speed, and see how you do. Okay.
Let's see
Did it
what
work
happens.
there? Purple lady slippers.
Let me
I'm just gonna call you
check
purple.
items, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I guess.
There you
There
are.
you
Here it
Now
is.
point that.
Oh.
Whoa, wait.
Like-
Come back. Wait.
Whoa.
Just be calm. Don't panic. Whatever you do, just don't move. Just stay totally still. Just sign the waiver. That's legally binding. All right, good. All right, now listen. All you have to do is grip the hand, and I find it helps to keep it in the left hand. This way, you can make your turns with your right thumbstick like this. And when I make my turns, I put it over my head, and I look dramatic when I do it. But if you put it in your left hand, or whatever hand you put it in, whichever one you're comfortable, while you're holding it with the grip button, if you squeeze your trigger button, also, you'll find that you can draw lines with it. Try drawing a small line into the office, a small line. All right, the shorter the line, the slower you're going to go. But the longer the line, the faster you go. So if you draw a long line straight up in the air, you'll smack your head in the ceiling, and that's why you sign the waiver. Like that. Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Who am I?
And that's the flight tool. And it
You
takes a
should
little
really give
time to
out
get used to it.
helmets.
You know, we talked about that, and we
Did we?
actually had it working for a brief time, but we were told it impacted performance too much.
Oh, that's
But
right.
we did have
that's
working
right.
helmets for a time. They were cool. They looked like pilot helmets, and it was a good time. We're still working on a replacement, actually.
guys.
All right.
Hey,
Hey, Ian,
Ian.
how's it going? What's
How's
going
it
on? Welcome.
going?
It's going well. How are you?
Dressed up for the holidays
Fine.
there.
This is super
Alright,
interesting.
everybody.
There's a few different
quest.
just controls that I've learned how to do.
Yes.
So what's your favorite thing to do on the quest?
Now, what you could do, Tyler, if you'd like, you could spawn two flight tools and go super fast. Try not to do more than two, because if you do that, you could impact people's performance, and then they'll take the pens away from us, and then they'll be like, this is why you can't have nice things. And we're going to be like, man, I missed that flight tool. And that's what
I got
happen.
it.
So try not to
I
do more
think I
than two.
really,
This is
you
gonna
know
be
what? I love
fun.
Altspace, but like,
There
I
you
think,
go. Enjoy yourself, Tyler.
I think I really have been enjoying some other apps lately too.
There we go.
So,
What's
you know,
going
it's
on
fun
here?
too. Like I use my headset mainly for Altspace. He was
Yes,
just
yeah,
saying
we
how much
mainly
he
do it.
enjoys his.
Hey, I
much
might
he
have to
enjoys
break
his
that rule
quest.
to not go into space, dude.
You might
Yeah.
have to break what rule? To not
The
what
rule
now?
to not go into space.
Not, oh, well, you know, you can give it a shot if you like. I've never reached the edge of the
Take a
skybox. You are
picture.
more than welcome to. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, Ian was talking about what now?
He was just saying how much he's enjoying his new quest.
Oh, yeah. It's a great device. We really enjoy ours,
Yeah.
too. It's been a lot of fun. All right. Anybody have any questions at all? I'm seeing a lot of people forming up here. Anybody have any questions? Let's go. So a group coming here and just heading around. Okay, well, they're here on special business, apparently. Okay, so does anybody have any questions at all? Questions about flying, about movement, about Altspace, world building? You have a question there,
How often
Ghost
can you
Menagerie?
come here? How often
How
can you
often
come
can you
here?
come here? You can come here 24 hours a day, anytime you want. You can bring friends, whatever. The only thing we ask, if we have an event going on, maybe just like step outside. So if we're teaching people, to allow us to do that. If you'd like to make the world a favorite, you can come back anytime. The instructions are right there. And if you'd like, I can walk you through that. We also do flight time 3 times a week, but we come here at the end of all our events. We have events pretty much every day of the week right now. So yeah, that's what we do. Check us out every evening.
Yeah, the
Ravenhall
easiest way
Events.
to make it a favorite is if you go to
Hi,
we
Tyler.
are
Tyler,
here on
you're
your
gonna have
menu
to
wheel.
not spawn more than
You
2.
see the
I didn't
yellow
mean
button?
to. I
It'll
didn't
impact
see
people's
him.
performance.
That's what I'm doing.
It's totally
I'm
fine.
deleting them.
Don't worry about it. I'll help
And then
you out.
you can just it'll come up,
All
the menu
right,
will
there
come up,
we
and then
go.
you can just click favorite.
All right,
There you go.
everybody. Does anybody have any questions at all? Questions about
Nope.
Altspace? Questions about your
No.
device? And like, well, Tyler doesn't have any questions, so I guess we're all good.
What is this
All
world
right.
Nah, what's the
called
meaning
so I
of
can put it
life,
on
dude?
favorites?
The meaning of life, I found usually to be pizza. Sleep is also good. I've heard good things about that. You know, what else? Also 42.
Oh my
42
god.
Oh,
42,
definitely,
yeah.
absolutely.
definitely. 42 is definitely the answer. All right, everybody. Now, does anybody have any questions about Altspace or about your device or about movement in Altspace or anything like that?
Nope.
None?
I
Okay, well, we
do.
got a lot of fight tools in here. What's your question, Hummingbird?
I have a flight pen, but it's on the
Yes,
floor.
you dropped
and
it.
How
Yeah,
do I
you're
get
kind
You
of
can
stuck
do.
in it.
You can
might
get
have
another
recentered.
one.
Yeah,
You
you
can do
might try
another
re-entering the
one.
space. That'll solve it. Because if I try to grab it
Yeah.
from you, it will. Oh, there we go. Looks like Morgan got it. She's a professional. She's always cleaning up those pens. No, now you
Oh,
can
you
just
got
spawn
it?
another one. Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
that it can happen when you recenter, your pen will move, especially if it's attached to you using the pin button. You'll see on each flight tool, there's two buttons below it. One is a pin button, and when it's attached to you, the pen will follow around. But if you unpin it by pressing that pin button, you can place it. Excuse me, Tyler, what was that?
I accidentally burped. Sorry.
In my
Just
ear.
messing around with the
I
flight
don't
tool.
believe that was an accident, actually. Tyler, you're not making this any. You're not making this any easier, Tyler. Please, seriously. I'm not getting paid to do this.
I'm
I
not.
do this
I
for free,
actually
man. You
didn't mean
having
to.
fun at
I'm
my
serious.
expense? Really?
I'm serious.
Cool,
I totally
Tyler. Really?
apologize.
It was just
Seriously.
an accident. It was just an accident.
Oh,
I'm
here
really
it is.
sorry. I didn't mean to.
Next to my head. Okay. Well, that looked like a pretty deliberate
No, no,
accident
no,
to me,
I was
but
just
okay.
going so
Benefit of the
fast.
doubt, Tyler. One more time. Here we go. Anybody? So, does anybody have any questions? We got about 9 minutes left. Any questions about movement in all space? Anything like that?
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out where my flight pane is here.
Okay. If you go into your main menu, and that's the blue and
Yeah.
white triangle button there, you're going to see a settings cogwheel in the lower right. Now, when you press on that
Right.
settings cogwheel in the lower right, you're going to see all these lists of categories on the left-hand side. Try pressing
Yeah.
items about halfway down. Now you're going to see the word flight
Oh,
tool with the word spawn there.
Got you.
Yeah. And then you're going to see one appear in the air in front of you. There it is. Now you aim at it. Now when your target goes on, hit your grip button. Very good. Now if you squeeze your trigger button, you can draw lines with it. The shorter the line, the slower you'll go, and the longer the line, the faster you'll go. And it works just like
I
I
that.
got it.
genuinely don't care.
You genuinely don't care about what? The flight tool?
Oh, we
I-
have.
Ow. Okay, cool. All right, guys, you know what? Listen, I don't get paid to do this. All right, we've already had a couple of people messing around. I normally don't do this, but I can just as easily end the event early if you guys aren't having a good time. I got one generally don't care, one belching in my face. It's like, that's real nice, everybody. Okay, yeah, I guess we're going to
Yeah,
call it for the
do
day.
it.
Have a nice
Do
day,
it.
Cam. Let me
Okay,
get that
then.
username from
I
you there
see
real
it.
quick. There we go. Okay, everybody.
I
Does
see
anybody
it.
else have any questions? Seriously. I'm happy to help, but, if you're going to... Cam, please. I'm asking. Okay. Come on, please. Seriously. Okay, here we go.
Just boot him.
Yeah. I don't enjoy doing
I
that, but there
am.
you go. Bye, Cam. Enjoy
did.
the campfire. Okay. Thanks, everybody. All right. Does anybody have any questions about movement or flying in old space or hosting events or world building? I'm happy to help, and I'm here for another 7 minutes if you have any questions.
No, I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you for teaching me how to do this originally. I'm sorry for
Oh.
interrupting you. I actually didn't mean that. It was a total accident.
Oh,
Okay. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Now I'm just quite interested about what did you have to use any other app to build this world, or was just world building?
That's a really good question. My wife and I built this world in less than 2 days on an Oculus Go, right? When we first started doing events. However, since
Yeah.
that time, we've done some other stuff. All right. Like if you see the logo in the window, we did that in a program called Unity, and we also used an app
Ye-
called Gravity Sketch. These mugs that you see here, we did the same
Yeah.
method in Gravity Sketch to Unity to
And
Altspace. And that's the
Unity.
progression a lot of people take. Now we also
Yeah,
use
I'm
the,
actually.
the MRE SDK to make the ships flyable. And if you're interested
Okay.
in developing any of that kind of stuff, if you go just about every Wednesday, I think it's every other Wednesday now, you're going to see a meetup in Allspace called the SDK meetup. They also have it on Thursdays as well for a UK friendly time.
Oh,
And there
okay.
you can learn about a lot about that stuff there. If you just go to a few of
Yeah,
those, they also have them on
really
YouTube.
interested. I'm really interested in doing this. I started working with Unity, and
Yeah.
I'm heavily embedded in YouTube now, trying to learn a few more about it.
Oh yeah, you know what? In the
It-
beginning, it's real tough. There's a real it's a real steep vertical learning curve, but once you get it, it just clicks and it gets super easy. And you'll just be building all kinds of stuff. So stick with it. Don't get discouraged. And if you do get
Yeah.
stuck, tons of people have been where you are. So join our Discord if you get stuck. We're always happy to help and answer questions if anybody
absolutely.
has
I'm
them.
actually a software developer, so
Oh, cool.
I have seen
Oh,
wor-
so-
I have seen worse. Yeah.
Nice. Well, there you go. So you know the procedure of slamming your head against the
Yeah,
monitor
it's
to
like
make
it
go.
starts up
Yeah,
difficult
exactly.
and then it gets easier.
Exactly. Now,
appreciate
Dylan,
you,
you
man.
have a question? What's
Yeah,
up, Dylan?
this isn't about flight, but I was just wondering when is
That's
the
fine.
next when is the next shark time
Shark Time, I'm glad you asked, is at Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find us pretty easily. There's two ways to do it, really. You can go to our event page by going up to altvr.com and go to channels, and you'll see Ravenhall Events there, and then there you'll see all our events listed out there. But if you want to do it from within Altspace, what you can do is open up your main menu. That's the blue and white triangle button there, and you're going to see the events tab, and there's a category called All. Right now, if you cycle through that, may be pretty deep in there because there's a lot of events in AltsSpace. But you'll find us. It's the one with the picture of a shark on it. And this one is Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So come check us out. We give out world building kits. It's kind of like a game show. We have a lot of fun. And you're all very welcome to come and see us. So, just press on that interested so we know how many people to expect, because, I like to know some idea before we show if we're getting like, a huge audience. I like to prepare.
Of course, I mean, if you have
face the
food,
public.
you know how many people are going to be eating.
Yeah, exactly. The guys like to know what's on the menu. Not only that, you also get a friendly email reminder from AltsSpace about an hour before the event starts, and that can help. All right, now does anybody else have any questions at all?
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, let's see here. Now, any questions about AltsSpace or about world building or about, hosting events, anything like that? Anybody have any questions about movement in AltsSpace?
How long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing
I've been doing this for going on a couple to a few years. I'm not sure the exact amount of
It's
time.
a little over 2 years, I believe.
It's a little
I
over
mean,
2 years.
Yeah, if you jumped on Oculus a while back, then it should be a little over 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. I started out with an Oculus Go. I went to a Quest, and now I'm on a Quest 2. So I've been through 3 headsets, and all of it has been in AltsSpace. And we do events pretty much every day. I got a lot out of doing it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been rewarding. Sometimes you get like what happened earlier, and that can really, test your patience. You've got like a bunch of people going, you're trying to stay focused. Yeah, it can be tough, because people, you got to remember something, right? We look like avatars, right? It's not like really like a video game, though. There's no score. There's necessarily no way to win unless maybe you make some friends. But you got to remember that everybody you see in here is an actual person. Right. So if you're going up to somebody, try it. Try talking in it like saying like reading a paragraph, and then somebody's going in front of you like this. It can really throw you off if you're trying to focus.
It does throw you off.
You're on stage and you'll get these text messages, and think about it this way: like if you're in a theater, right, and somebody comes up to the actor, and you actually saw this, you're in a theater, you're enjoying a show, and you see somebody walk up to the stage with a note going, hey, and they send them, and this is like getting a text message on stage, right? Are you going to be surprised when you see security drag the person out? Probably not
at all.
But in VR, people do it, and I think like if it's something you wouldn't do in real life, you probably shouldn't do it in here. But I think when you put on like a different face or something that doesn't look like you, or you have a different name, you're going to try stuff that you wouldn't do in real life. Like, hey, let me stick your hands in my face. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Are you upset yet? How about now? Are you distracted? Are you actually a human being? No? Okay. Well, there you go. So that can really throw you off when that happens. But, like I said, it's yesterday, I think it was, we just did our 500th event. And honestly, thankfully that kind of stuff doesn't happen every day, very fortunately for that. And unlike when I'm in here for flight time, I don't have on a personal space bubble. I don't use it. I don't use a stage blocker. I'm just out there. Nobody's getting muted. And more in our events, we're because people don't like being muted, I'm told. So during Shark Time and some of our other events, we're running without muting, and it's really anything can happen, but it can be tough. It really can
but
throw you
I
off
mean,
to
if
keep things
people don't
organized.
like getting muted, and it gets to a point where you have to mute them if they're really, really annoying.
Well, you know what? It does go like that, but I find if you tell the audience first that, listen, we're going to leave you unmuted, but if there's something happening, like there's a conversation off to the side that we're better off in the campfire, then we're going to do it. So if during the event you notice the microphone turns red, and since I've been doing that, I'm telling you, we haven't had to mute anybody. They've been great. We've had people, and I love when I hear people laughing. That's the best. When I do a joke at Shark Time or something, and the audience laughs, I love that. I think it's awesome. It's so much better than emojis. It really is. Emojis are cool. I like emojis. Not gonna lie, but the hearing the laughter of the audience. Is
the actual people response is really, really always very good.
Yeah, that and the body language. When you see people out there and they're going like this with their hands and stuff, that's the best. I enjoy that. But we're actually out of time, everybody. So I'm going to take off. But hopefully you guys will come to. Wait, what's that?
We have someone here who's been patiently waiting to ask a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Hey, let's see. AK, also known as Indie Prince. What's going on? Don't be sorry.
Sorry.
That's why we're here. What's up?
So, can you hear me?
I can hear you great, crystal clear. You sound fantastic.
All right. Okay, fine. I just want to ask, when you bring assets in, is there when you like a cup and stuff like that, do you create them in something like Blender and then bring them in,
You
Or,
can, all right. Any kind of graphic modeling application that you can use, like Gravity Sketch, or there's also Maya is one, SketchUp is another. Really, any Blender, of course. Anything like that. When you could start out there, and then get it in a file format that Unity is going to recognize, like OBJ or FBX. FBX is a good one, and then you pull it into Unity. And once in Unity, you're going to use something called the Unity Uploader, which is available through AltspaceVR, and it's actually not even made by AltspaceVR. It's made by a user just like us who volunteered it to help the community bring things into AltspaceVR. And AltspaceVR worked with them, and they got it working. It's a fantastic thing. And you put in the Unity uploader, right? And then there are some videos on how to do it. You can go to altvr.com to learn the thing, but it's actually it's sort of a painful process the first few times. You're probably going to get wrong the first few times out, but stick with it. You will get it, and eventually you'll be bringing all kinds of asset and just making this this a better place. So yeah, you absolutely can do that.
do you know
So,
what? I know the format is FBX.
Yeah, that's one of them.
What I can't understand, like if I create something with a high poly, what's the poly count I need to bring in?
See, that's really kind of a tough question. All right, because there's no real answer for this. In AltspaceVR, there are some worlds that are hyper detailed that if you walk in there on a mobile headset, your head will probably burst into flames and they won't even know that you were actually a person at one time. You'll just be this pile of something in the chair. What would happen is there's no real right answer for this. Right? What there is, the most important thing in AltspaceVR is field of view. Like right now, I'm looking at you inside of a building, so my headset doesn't have to draw the mountains that are over there. And just at the top of that mountain back there, there is like a canopy with like this torch coming out of it. Right now, my headset doesn't have to draw that. All right. So the number of draw calls and what's in the field of view, that plays a factor. The number of kits that are in use are played a factor. As a matter of fact, this bonsai tree, right, which is actually just a regular tree that's been scaled down really small. I think it looks like broccoli. It's cool. I like it. But to have this in the
I
world,
like it too.
It has to bring. Isn't it neat? I love this thing. It's really cool. To have this thing in here, you actually have to bring in the entire kit with it. So all the kits that are in this tree are in all of your head, or all the kits, all the items that are in the kit that belongs to this tree. That's not easy to say. It's actually in your headset right now if you're on mobile, right? Actually on any device really. So it loads in the entire kit. So you have to be mindful of that too.
Automatic? Sorry, is that automatic, the field of view?
It's to some extent, it depends. Like if on the item itself, if you use ocular occlusion, that's one thing that can help. There's all kinds of settings. And again, this is like, it's sort of an art in that sense because there's no really clear answer. There are things that are definitely going to help you. Like, of course, lower poly counts are going to be better. But if you can actually get away with a higher poly count if you come down in other areas, right? The key to mobile VR, especially, is if you're going to be using, you're going to want small file sizes. All right, that's a must. All right. Compression's your best friend, right? You don't want to go for complexity, but you can get away with complexity when you take away from other areas. So there are no absolute answers. It's sort of a thing you're going to learn as you go. There are some guidelines that can help you. When you upload the model, there are going to be some warning signs like on the website where you look at that world and you'll see like everything's a red and you're like, uh-oh, the file size is too big. How can I make it smaller? And you begin with a question like that. And you're like, okay, so I compressed the textures and that made the file smaller, right? And because of that, now I'm bringing in this really awesome object that really has no, because if you go to AltspaceVR, you are going to see some worlds in here that are ridiculously complex. And you ask, how do they do that? And they do that by coming down in other areas, right? Think of it as like sliders. And like it's an art. The first few times, you're probably going to do something ridiculously complicated. The first model I brought in here was like, it came in and it finally worked. And I came in, it was supposed to be a theater. And I walked in and I was like, how do I explain this? The door itself to the theater was about the size of a skyscraper, right? And I was like a fingernail, and I'm looking up going, it didn't work. And then I'm looking up and I'm going, wait, that's the doorknob. I see the doorknob, and it's like the size of a bus. It was huge. I can't explain how big it was. I was like an N. I felt very small that day, but I went right back to the drawing board. And if you keep at it, you're going to get it. And there's a lot of support on the Discord, the AltspaceVR Discord, our Discord. You're not going to get stuck for very long. All right, but it is going to happen. You just have to keep at it, and you're going to learn different things as it goes.
I would say,
but there aren't clear answers. I can't tell you like 32,000 polys is the absolute count, and never go over that. There's exceptions to every rule, and you can finesse a lot. What's that, Morgan?
If I may Jerry, the tire guy?
Just a really good starting spot. Like if you're just interested in bringing in a single model, a really good starting point for you just to look at hundreds of tries, not thousands of tries, and also too, if it has a layered texture, deal with one layer of texture only, and that should help you out a lot, just to begin with.
for sure. Yeah, and there's
And what
also
about,
tricks. You can use texture
What are you talking
atlases
about?
and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a whole field, you know, and keeping it mobile friendly is a
And-
real challenge.
Yeah. And what about animated stuff like the cat you got down there?
Well, this is you can absolutely do that. The animations get stored. See, you can't bring scripts in. All right, you can't bring scripts into AltSpace. But then people say, well, then how's the ship flying around? How do you able to do that? Right? They do allow you to use a scripting language, the MRE SDK. I can't encourage you guys enough. Wednesday nights, go to the SDK meetup. But I will tell you this: animations like you see in the cat or that drone that circle in the sky out there. Right? Those kind of things are stored animations that are in the objects themselves. That you can do. Like Unity animations, if you want to have a spinning cube, you can totally do that. I don't know what's up with the cube. Everybody brings a cube in the first time. You know,
Well,
I don't know.
it's
I
just
didn't
the
start
Well,
with a
that's
cube
easy.
myself.
That's easy to import
Yeah.
They
anyway.
say so, but I didn't
It's
start
super
with a cube
easy.
myself. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
that's
But
the
if I
first
wanted
thing I
easy,
brought
wouldn't be
in.
doing this.
Cube.
I don't know.
I
I
brought in
saw
a
a
cube
video.
first.
Where was this, Morgan? Was
Friggin'
this on
companion
was this
cube.
on Twitter? We saw
Yeah.
this. I think it was on Twitter. There was a video I saw recently, right, where they had like somebody in Blender and they selected the cube and they deleted it like you do it normally when you start a project. You delete that cube, and when they deleted the cube, they zoomed in the camera and they showed this
Oh,
void
yeah.
where there were thousands of cubes raining down from everybody who deletes the cubes. It was to answer the question of where do the
Where
cubes
they
go?
all go.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't start with
Great.
cubes just because, like, you know, it's just cruel to abuse cubes that way. What's going on, Jerry, the tire guy? What's going on?
Hey, nice to meet everybody. First time here. You actually sound like that guy from like Indiana Jones. I don't know if you ever heard that before. What's that
Indiana
actor's
Jones?
name?
Yeah. Which guy? Which guy?
The actor, what's his name?
Oh, what's his
Harrison Ford.
He
name?
crashed in the
Yeah.
airplane, but he survived it. You know what I'm
Harrison
talking
Ford.
about?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
okay.
talking about. Yeah.
No, I haven't been told
You
that
sound like
before.
Harrison
Wow.
Ford.
Okay.
That's
That's
what
cool.
she
Wow,
goes
well,
to.
that's a
So I said, you know,
compliment.
maybe it's Harrison Ford.
You don't think he can sue
Yeah.
me, do you?
No, you're good. You're good.
My
You're
lawyer's
good.
on the phone, everybody. That's not cool. All right, everybody. I
You're
am
good.
way over on time here. I do got to head out, but I want to thank you all for coming. We'll run flight time 3 times a week. Stop by anytime if you want to make the world a favorite. You can. Also check out our other events by going to Ravenhall Events and check out Shark Time this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We give away world building kits. It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys will enjoy it. Come see us, and I'll check you all later. Thanks for coming, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Could we?
Michael.
Thank you.
Could we?